My name is Richard Nicholson, from Dallas, Texas, born and raised, home of the Cowboys. Went to high school in Carrollton, and I was an athlete. Was the guy that was friends with everybody. I showed up in the morning to play hacky sack with the kids in the trench coats and hung out with the preppy kids. I hung out with the jocks. You know, I was all around the school. I was well known. I graduated in 2001. But as I continued to age and get older and step out into the adult world, an addiction that I had from my childhood, left unchecked, started to perpetuate itself in my life, and that was pornography. And I just kept on going down that spiral of degradation. It's where I got my idea of intimacy and love. You know, I figured that this is exactly how a woman is supposed to be treated. This is exactly what they want. And, you know, I brought that into my family life and my relationships. And when I found that it wasn't fulfilling me, I kept moving forward. So as I was moving forward in life, this spiral of degradation had just a grip on me, and I didn't realize it. I didn't realize that I was never fulfilled with what I was going through in life, and I was always searching for something more. And slowly, that addiction turned into a darker tunnel, and I just kept going down until I found myself eventually a person seeking and looking for child pornography. And that's what led me to my incarceration. Was locked up in 2014 after 2 months of diving into this unknown world and never able to step back and look at myself and say, what am I doing? Because I had no idea, and I had no realization of what I had turned into and the person I had become. So it was a very dark time in my life. I was very lost. You know, I'm a very analytical person. I prided myself on my intellect a lot when I was younger. And so I always felt like I could justify the reasons of why I don't believe God, why He's not real. And I had all these things in my mind that I could use to disprove what was said in the Bible. And it wasn't until November 15th, 2014, I'd been locked up since May. And my lawyer came to me and told me that the only thing they're going to give you is 15 years, nothing else. And at that point, I realized that I'm not the biggest thing in this world, and there is a lot of things that I can't handle. And I need something else in my life. And the only thing I knew of that was bigger than me, that I had ever heard of in my life, was Christ, and through Christ, God. And so I just took a chance and said, you know what? I have nothing else. Everything's been taken from me. My selfish ways, that idolatry that I put up there of my selfishness and my pride is completely gone. I'm at the lowest of the low. Everything that I've ever worked for in life has been taken from me. And I just dropped to my knees by myself after I got off the phone with my lawyer and said, you know, God, if you are real, if you are there, I need you now, because I can't do this anymore. I've destroyed everything in my life, and I don't see a way out of this for the first time. And in that moment, I felt something move in my heart for the first time that I've never felt in my entire life. And it told me that you're not going to give up, that you're going to do exactly what I tell you to do, and you're going to take this and see this all the way through, and you're not going to accept anything. And even though you may not like the outcome of it, it's not going to be this 15 years. And I ended up with 12. And at that point, I realized that this is real. There is something out there bigger than me, and He's showing me that if I will put my faith in Him, if I will let Him live in me and through me and make Him my source and step off that throne, that He'll do amazing things in my life, and He'll restore the things that I thought could never be restored. The freedom to me now is being able to live, act, and react as the person God designed me to be. What Mike Barber Ministries means to me is it's the example of what humility is. And humility is the cornerstone of servant leadership. Without humility, every other virtue that stands for servant leadership crumbles. And I see that Mike Barber and the staff that come in here are humble, and they have humility, and they realize that it's not about them. It's not about bringing glory to them. It's about bringing glory to God and showing guys that there is another way to live life. And that speaks to me because I've never served anybody else. I've always served myself. I've always pursued my own desires, my own passions, no matter who I ran over or who I excluded from my life, including the children that I have. And being able to see how these guys hold themselves up and how they stand on that foundation of humility and bring themselves to the units like this to speak to guys like us lets me realize that no matter who you are, no matter where you are and how broken you think you are, there is a place for you. And you can step up and you can become that servant leader just like Mike Barber and his ministries are. And you can take that out to other people in your life and hopefully affect one person's heart. You may not get 10, you may not get 20, you may not get 1,000 like Mike maybe touches on a yearly basis or over the time that he's been doing this. But if you can affect one person and turn them around, then they can go do the same thing and hopefully do that. And within generations to come, you're going to see this thing that just spreads out from you deciding to stand up and do something different. And that's what Mike Barber Ministries means to me.